Hello. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday, true crime. And we're going to do things a little different tonight. One thing we're going to do the same, though, is I'm going to ask you how the audio is. Because I always do. Yeah. I definitely want to make sure that there's no crackling, there's no muffling, there's no background noise. The volume is good. So, can one of my very nice blue friends in the chat let me know? Thank you, guys. Yeah. Hi, April. Mm. Sounds good so far. Hey, Mip. How you doing? It's good. Yeah. Good thoughts going forward, April. I hope everything works out. I'm just hanging in there, and they're still checking stuff out, so that's good. Okay. Hello there, trees. Trees, that's one of the problems with this guy. One of the unusual or gnarly suspects we have on the thumbnail. Yeah, there's a lot of that's a new case, and that's something I want to talk about with you guys. So tonight's format is a little bit different. So if you're in any of my chats, okay, um, if you're in any of the chats, either on Twitch or in YouTube or even on X. Just if you have a question on any of the cases on the thumbnail, or if we cover those, even outside of that, that would be fine. Okay. Um, I'll definitely wanted to answer more questions tonight than not. I'm not going to do a presentation except for like a picture about all of the ones from the thumbnail. That's about it. If you decide you want to talk about them. Um, Well, there's a lot in the news. There's a lot of little things going on in I think it's better to just do a Q&A format because I never do that. Just to give it a try. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And we won't do it again. Okay. But before I actually get started, I just want to remind everybody to subscribe, share, and like the videos, please. And leave some comments, okay? Like there's a lot of people watching already, and there's never that many likes, okay? And I guess dislikes are also engagement, so who cares? If you don't like it, tell me that too. Like I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it either way. But hey, just don't be lazy. Do the thing, okay? Let's do the thing, okay? Oh, you want the banner? Yep, I'll do that. Thank you, Mrs. C. Hmm. There you go. Basically, exactly what I said. All the YouTubey things, okay? Oh, for those of you on the other platforms of Twitch and Twitter, welcome. Normally, I do this show Tuesday, 7 p.m. on my YouTube channel, and I have been sharing it to the Twitter and the Twitch platforms for all of you to kind of get used to it. This is a new format for question and answers, and I hope that you will have some for us. Well, in the meantime, let's just see what you guys want to talk about. Well, first question. I don't know what you've been talking about, but I was wondering if you had time to go over some of the Laura Ray letters. Yes, that I have read all the Laura Ray letters. They are from the actual lawsuit, Netflix for Baby Reindeer lawsuit, against Fiona Harvey suing Netflix et al. Um, and that's kind of been put on the wayside because all of that is pending now. We've got an appeal, on the actual last motions that were done by both sides, and it was some of it got struck, okay, and some of it didn't, and the actual defense themselves actually want an appeal review before it goes forward. It was agreed by both sides to stay the case until the appellate court has looked at it, or for that judge for the anti-slap motions, where some of it got it wasn't so good for Fiona Harvey, but still there were things that the defense actually got put back too that they actually didn't agree with. So they wanted it to be actually harder. Okay. So we have that. All right. I have a question. I'm looking. Everybody at me if you have a question. Mrs. Cassandra's right. You're ready to hear? Oh, here we go. So here we go on this one. You're ready to hear my thoughts on Luigi. Is there a question on that? Or my thoughts on, you mean Luigi Mangione, the alleged United Healthcare CEO shooter? This okay. We can talk about that first if everybody's with. Oh, that I answered. But since Mrs. Cassandra brought that up, we'll talk a little bit about that just first. You just want my thoughts? My thoughts are, well, I can see it's going to be a very divided case because in the beginning, when the CEO was shot, the United Healthcare CEO was shot. Some of the commentary that I saw out there, some of the actual response by people in general, not necessarily the media. I'm not coming at anybody on YouTube or the media or anything like that. But like people were like, oh yeah, right, healthcare. Well, yeah, I could see somebody getting pissed enough to shoot somebody. Like, and it was very like, oh, okay, you know, it's not exactly the reaction I would expect of somebody getting shot down in broad daylight in the middle of the street, like that, on a sidewalk, just in cold blood, like that. I can't even imagine that we're that desensitized to this kind of stuff. But it does kind of point towards what's happening in America right now with healthcare and how we all kind of feel about it is a problem. People are not getting the healthcare that they need. It's almost like routine to get denied. I read in some states there's actually legislation to push back on certain insurance companies that actually want to stop the paying for the anesthesia before the surgery is done. Like you can still get the anesthesia, but they're only going to pay for so much of it. Like that's ridiculous. It's not like you have a choice. Like that just seems insane. And I can see why people get very passionate about this issue, very involved in, as a result, like there's got to be a consequence for it. Does it have to be the murder of somebody? No. But anyway, look at the trees. That is what the bullet said. Deny, defend, and depose. Deny, depose, defend, or something like that. And that's allegedly. Like we haven't seen it all yet, but that's what was being reported. Um, Most of what I'm going to say is allegedly, just like everything in the news media. But what I did see is from when his first arrest, when he was going in for his arrest into Altoona, Pennsylvania, and they were bringing him in, he did not seem as angry as he did today when they were dragging him out of the vehicle into for his arraignment for extradition. Okay. He was angry. He was yelling at the media. He said that this was unjust and actually an affront, like to the intelligence of the American people, or something like that. That's not a direct quote, but it was basically like poppycock. It was also interesting that he felt confident enough to speak back to the prosecutor in his arraignment in when he was being charged in Pennsylvania, that they said that certain things about the money. There's stuff about the 8,000 in the 2,000. He had 8,000 American, 2,000 foreign currency. He says, what, like that didn't have that kind of money? Like, was that planted? Like he said it right out. And he also talked about the bag that his equipment was all in. It's not really sophisticated criminal technology. It's a Faraday bag and it's waterproof, and this is a known hiker and athletic person. Luigi Mangione lived in Hawaii, hiked all the time. It's evident from his socials. I've seen it go crazy. There's been videos out there that they said that he planned, that YouTube took down because they said nope, it was imposter stuff. And then, Elon Musk said he didn't know that his Twitter got taken down, and he actually reinstated it. His Twitter is back up. His immediate family has not made a statement. However, he does have a cousin that's in politics, and from the Maryland area, and he did make a post, or the family or the PR people for the family in that area said they can't really speak about it because all they're hearing is through the media, because this young man has been estranged from his family and missing for quite a while. In the latest reporting, yeah, I think he is trying to say that maybe some of it's not real, like put some doubt on the case, saying it was unjust. But we'll have to see. All I know is also pictures of a valedictorian, a very well educated young man who came from a affluent family. They had money. Their money was invested in real estate and healthcare things. Um, that he has a cousin in Congress, and he looked very well adjusted, happy. He spoke very well in his valedictorian statement in high school. Um, in his college grades were excellent. He's got a degree. He had a really good job. He moved to Hawaii. He's from the Maryland area. He went to school in Pennsylvania. I I just see a turn in an individual into someone that really looks extreme. You read some of the statements he wrote, like there's a lot of stuff around. I don't want to do a long thing on him. We're gonna but it seems like you're interested, and that was going to be one of my questions for you on whether you want this to be one of the cases that we study, that we actually go into a deep dive, make the presentation, do the long stream, you know. Yeah, put him on the books. People want to contribute to his fight. I know. This is the thing. Look at the trees. This is going to be so controversial. It's going to be so divided. I welcome your sister in her opinion on it. Tell her to contact me and let me know what you think. I guess you guys are saying you're really just interested. If you are, show me in the chat. Okay, tell me you want this covered for the deep dive, because although I've been looking at it like all of you, on a cursory level through the media and everything. I have been tracking a couple of the legal documents, but to be honest, I did set up a room to try to track some of it, but I wasn't sure, that I was going to do it. But we'll see. Yes, he does. And they're very high scientific degrees, computer and engineering. Like he's got high degree. He's got such a high degree that he worked for a company in California, but he lived in Hawaii. He was able to do it. And he was like selling it was something to do with loans and stuff like that for cars and technology. Like, I don't know. I'm going to do a deeper dive, but yeah, he had a good job. He seemed very well adjusted. He kind of pulled away from friends and family a while ago. I did read in one of the reporting, and this is like from the media, that his mother had actually they could not, he wasn't responding to anyone. So in November, she was actually looking for him. Okay. They do say that he came in to New York from Hawaii. Like, was it the end of November or December? Like, yeah. Well, they haven't been able to actually pinpoint when the exact time that he stopped talking with family and stuff, but it's been a while, you know. Um, I mean, they say that he had a thing for the Unabomber. He did this like review on it and stuff. I mean, there's a lot. Yeah. I know, not more than a high rate of it, but the fact that it took them so long, like for people to actually get involved with where it was seen. It was actually police officers that found all of the footage of him getting on a train, this and that, and did that, and yet he was at the Starbucks. Somebody said they were flirting with him. There's a lot going back and forth on whether or not that's the same picture of the same person. When he's smiling, he looked totally different. But yeah. Um, that's a very good question, Mrs. Cassandra, because he's got charges in Pennsylvania because he had the weapon on him. They say he had a large amount of money. He did give the officers a fake ID. And as somebody right here in New Jersey that's been tracked to an actual classmate of his that actually lives in New Jersey, although the information, except for the name, was wrong as far as the address and all. We don't know how that goes, like how that fits in. But he gave him false ID and then everything. They did arrest him. So he's got charges in Pennsylvania. In part of the extradition hearing is whether or not the prosecution will agree to release him to New York, where he has much more serious charges of murder and with the weapon and all of that. There will be two trials because they can't put it all together. It's two different states, two different jurisdictions, two different offenses. Um, the actual giving false information to an officer in Pennsylvania, that's serious stuff. You know, having the weapon is serious. It's supposed to be a ghost gun, which is a gun that you put together. Some reporting that it is like was a 3D printer gun, parts of it. We all from research that I have done a little bit because I was curious about these. Like you can't create a complete gun with 3D printer. You can create the parts and put it together. Well, you can't create everything. There is some stuff you have to get and put together. In a ghost gun is just a gun that is not sold altogether, but it's one that you create from the parts that you can order. All right. So there's all of that going back and forth uh, in charges about it. Um, he did have a silencer, right? Oh, I see that you got information in his trees about like that. You know, I am curious as to which will go first. Pennsylvania has to decide to release him to New York, and then he will go to New York. I would think the most serious charges first because of the murder, because of the public outcry, and for family justice. You know, for the family, the survivors of his, you know, the people that he left behind. Um, you do too, fish nerd, a curiosity. Yeah. Mm. Hey, Mandy, it's good to see you. It's hard. It's hard. No children deserve to grow up to be able to see the video of their father being assassinated. That being said, I understand the rage, pain, medical text. Exactly. And that's what I was noticing the most, Mandy, the rage of the American people themselves. They're like, oh, yeah, right. Okay. Just another really rich CEO who's ruining people's lives going down in the street. Oh, well, yeah, there was like, although Liam says he didn't see like a lot or any more than anything else. I mean, we often I often see a lot of dark humor in regards to these kind of things. It was just it just stuck out a little more to me, the silence. I mean, in New York usually people, you know, they like you would think that they definitely would have had more people calling in, more people with information. But then again, we don't know exactly how much information they were gathering. Everything seemed to be coming from the investigation itself, except for the tip in the Starbucks. Okay. And then what really throws me is why was he just sitting there calmly in a McDonald's, you know, like with all of everything still on him, the weapon, the fake IDs, you know, things that are not good. Um, I don't know, but I'm not going to go into great detail because it looks like you guys want to cover it, which means there'll be a good hour-long segment just for him and everything that we know. How's that sound to you guys? Yeah. Social media going nuts with this one for sure. Exactly, which is why I hesitate to cover it because I don't want to oversaturate. Like if you're hearing too much about it, I usually try to make it more interesting when you come over here to give you something different. You know what I mean? But yeah, I have to say I am intrigued. But I'm gonna go with the flow on this one because like there's not anything. It's for me, it's more the psychological end of it that's intriguing me instead of the law, which is why I'm leaving it up to you. The law is going to be quite simple about this. I don't think there'll be any groundbreaking precedent set. I think it'll be interesting to hear his take. He may use it. Maybe he'll defend himself like somebody else we could talk about today. But who knows? I don't know. He's like, Hey Jasper, good to see you. Oh, welcome there, Bear. Oh, it says Bear, but it's from Beck. Sorry, I saw my name and then I said Bear instead of Beck. But hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Mandy, I think the Unabomber Association is dumb too, but it just shows you that everybody's just picking on any little thing. I mean, we had one YouTuber post the video, and then as soon as they posted it, they were like 15 clone accounts on YouTube claiming to be Luigi Mangione. Yes, it was ridiculous. There are clone Twitter accounts. I mean, his real Twitter is up. Pep Mangione is his illegitimate Twitter account, as far as we can tell. There was stuff that his sister had posted on Instagram for him. Um, but now I would imagine everybody, people get so crazy. What I really feel bad for is that the family is going to have to take down all their socials because of the way people get. People are combing through everything and making crazy alt accounts and stuff like that. It's absolute, like, why, people, why? I mean, they're just doing it for the clicks and views on YouTube because they figure everybody's going to run there and they're going to play it. And it's true. 5,000 views in like 10 minutes. I mean, seriously. I understand it's a monetary motivation, but when you first start an account, it's not monetized. So like, be reasonable, people. Like, don't be assholes. It's just like, just stupid, like absolutely stupid. That's my opinion on it, Mrs. Cassandra. Some of the stuff that's happening is just ridiculous. Okay. Thing that gets me was he was on the run almost a week. Why did he stay in the US if he exactly, like, did he want to get caught? He didn't have to still be here. He could have flew back to Hawaii. He doesn't need to be here. It was almost like, I want to know, like, is the other shoe gonna drop? And what is it exactly? And he's already laying the groundwork that he's being set up. I remember, Mandy, this was terrible. Brian's sister got fired from her job, and her family the mother and father got harassed terribly. People were saying things like, how could you raise a murderer? As if that's in your DNA, right? Like, or it's like they groomed him to be the murderer. It was horrible. Sister got fired. Everybody. I mean, but even the victim's family were just like, people just well-meaning them to death. Okay, with the questions and the this and the that, and nothing was private anymore, and everything was right in their face. And I really feel for them. She didn't have anything to do with it. I agree, Mandy. Like, she just related. Exactly. You know. I don't know. Do you think he'll pull a boon? Mrs. Cassandra's all excited. Maybe we'll get another boon, right? Like, letters to read out loud. That would be funny. Yeah. I did see that. Like, that was very unnerving to me, Mrs. Cassandra. She's talking about the women that were like, hey, anybody, I'll be your alibi. Just seen them over here. Like, yeah, they were all like, yo. I mean, he is a very nice looking young man. Like, from what I saw, he's very built. You see his hiking pictures in Hawaii. Like, he's only 26 years old. Like, all of us cougars, like, back down, back down. But hey, we can appreciate he was fit. He's intelligent, well spoken, had a good job. I understand it, but then again, he's also accused of being a cold-blooded murderer, like, with an agenda, like, allegedly, because we like it's out there now. His name is associated with that, but it's allegedly. He's not convicted of anything at this point. Okay. Oh, yeah, that they warned someone in the medical community. Maybe. I do know that his grandfather made a really nice resort, golf club resort, and some of their money comes from that. The family's in real estate, and they do have healthcare facilities of all types. I think rehab centers and all this other kind of stuff. There was another article that was something about his mom having health issues, but here's the thing: he himself had gone through a really major injury, apparently a surfing incident in Hawaii, and he needed major back surgery, like the kind where like they've got to fuse vertebrae because they were misaligned in your lower back. And that's from his Twitter. There's a picture of him. He's back there, and there's a lot of his friends out talking to the media and making posts on Facebooks and stuff that he changed after that. I mean that it could have a lot to do with. And actually, you see him sitting in a suit later. He's talking about like he does not look like the happy-go-lucky guy he was before the incident. Absolutely, you could see in the photographs the difference in him. And I can just tell you, like living with chronic pain of any type can change a person. It's normal. But how much? I mean, that's what fascinates me by this case. Like I said, more psychologically, more the effect on everybody, the response by the American people themselves, the justice system. Like it's kind of intriguing that way. Because here was an intelligent, bright person who knows, like he could have ran for office, like his cousin. He could be the CEO of an insurance company if he wanted to make change, if this was the issue. But basically, a lot of what he's talking about is how capitalism reigns and all we care about is profit here in healthcare and everything else. And that drastic problems need drastic measures. And that's basically what he kind of said on the Unabomber's review. Basically, that people don't listen, and sometimes you have to do something a little more physical. Hello over there on Twitch. Hello, Rocket Couch. Hello, Shill. Posted over there. Give me a couple of chats. That's nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. And he's not wrong about how horrible the system is. And let's just say that, I mean, the fact that it was the United Healthcare CEO, United Healthcare has the worst rating here in the United States right now. 30% of their claims in the last study that was done get denied. Treatments get approval. They had the highest amount of unpaid and disallowed services. It was quite stunning to see that number. I remember way back when United Healthcare was one of the best insurance companies you can have. Like we never worried about it when I worked in the billing department for some major medical places, and they were one of the good guys back then. Like they didn't worry about them, but it's really not that way anymore, you know. So anyway, would you guys like to talk about any of the others? Hold on one second. I do want to bring up one thing about this Luigi Mangione, and this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the difference. Um, okay, that is going into the arraignment. Okay, yelling out to the media about the injustice and about it being so insulting to the American people. This whole process. Well, that's not, I mean, this is, I don't know if this is before or after his surgery, but it's just totally different. I'm wondering one day in jail, like what with this guy, because to, when he went into his arraignment, he was smiling at everybody. He was all dressed in black. Remember, he was smiling. You know, this is one night in jail. Now he's going in for the actual extradition information, you know. Where the judge, the judge is asking about where he lives his stuff, and he's correcting him because, like, he's first said he's from Maryland and he didn't want to give him the Hawaii address, but actually, the information the judge has from both New York and from Pennsylvania is going to be about Hawaii because, they have more of a file. So he was trying to correct it, and they were talking about he was polite, um, but aggravated. He seems much more hyped up. I guess a night in jail will do that to you. Um, but yeah, I mean, I really do feel for Mr. Thompson's family. I mean, Mr. Thompson shouldn't have to lose his life over bad policy. This is his job. Okay, we have to remember that. Um, just like defense attorneys defend murderers, CEOs of big insurance companies that were out for profit have to make policies that are going to make profit. Doesn't make it right. I understand everybody's anger of it, but he was doing his job. Imagine how his family feels. This was just his job, and he got killed for it. He did post about psychedelics and stuff, Mindy. I did see that. This is going to be part of what I go over. I am going to do a deep dive. So I think if it's okay with you guys, if you don't have a specific question, I'm going to move over and wait for the big deep dive that I do, because I've been following it just the same as you guys. It could lead to a psychosis. That's what I'm wondering, Mindy. And I can't wait to talk to you about it, because, like, you and me and the psychological angle of these things with legal cases has always been a thing. And I really do think that like something's wrong. Like, I don't know if something happened with the injury that we don't know about, or if he's had some other kind of injury to his frontal lobe. That is not making him think clearly. Because, like I said, this is a well-educated man with many other opportunities to make the difference that he's talking about, besides murder. Or there were other options. Like, I don't understand, you know. And I feel for Mr. Thompson's family in the loss of life of Mr. Thompson. I do. But I kind of also see the other side and the rage that's there. And I'm seeing it from people that aren't even involved in any of this. Exactly. Even I agree he was a dude who took profit over people, but he and his family didn't deserve to go that way. Exactly. Two wrongs don't make a right. They never do. It's very hard for me to deal with that kind of stuff. They are. He's going to be like, he could get married in jail, Mrs. Cassandra. He is a pretty boy. Social media is going nuts for him. Like, he's going to have no problem getting the interviews and all this stuff. Let's just his words. It depends on how much of a psycho he sounds like whether he can use that education to formulate his thoughts the way he used to will be good. I know a lot of people don't look at the trees. A lot of people don't have empathy for the CEO or his family. I just have empathy for the loss of life. I never think that is a good look anyway. You know. Hello, Mike, the BG squad. We're just talking true crime cases. I think the next one that I'm gonna talk about is one that if anybody has questions on this woman, convicted murderer, Lori Vallow Daybell. Okay, we're in Arizona with hearings. I have them on the playlist for you all. We have all done her Rule 11. She's been declared competent, and she's going to represent herself, because she went to Judge Boreski's court the very next day, and he said, "Okay, I had." I, she definitely is going to represent herself. Definitely. Oh, you know what, Mike? I have talked about Brian Koberger, but not today, because I'm waiting for the next hearings in January. Mm-hmm. Mandy, damn, why couldn't Luigi meet her? Opportunity missed. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Why not? Exactly. Rocket Couch, isn't she special, Lori Vallow? Like, she's definitely special. She seemed quite pleased to talk to Judge Beriski in regards to being pro se. He said she seemed competent. She knows what's going on. She said she's, well versed in the process. So she said she's gone through 3 trials, and I was surprised because I knew about the family court one, and I know about the one that she went through from start to finish in Idaho, which she was convicted guilty, and she's got her sentencing there. But what about the other one? Okay, I know, but here's the thing, Mandy. I keep getting corrected by lawyers saying that's her legal name. Her legal name, which is why the charges are that way, is Lori Vallow. And so, like, that's why I'm just like, I keep going back and forth. It does bother me also, because she is Daybell now. She did marry Daybell, and I don't want to upset the family, the Vallow family, that she has this, just done all this horrible stuff too, obviously. But I get it. I get what you're saying. I really do. So, but I'm going to have to use both names. So please, if anything, just like, give me a hug. I don't like it either. I don't like it either. You know, a couch says, if you want something done poorly, just represent yourself. Exactly. If you had to go through a competency hearing and you didn't pass it the first time, and there was all kinds of trouble in the first one, and you know that you've got this life sentences on you, and the judge did remind Lori Vallow that these were big offenses and that she could get life. And she said she was fully aware. He's going to let her represent. Now, he does have the two attorneys that were assigned to her after her other attorneys asked to leave because they were like, this is insane. You need to go through a Rule 11 competency. You're not talking clearly, you know. Yeah, me too, Mandy. She says, I just don't want to taint Charles's good name, but I get you. Exactly. And I agreed with you. And you know that I've been putting it up there um, as Daybell. And that's when I started getting messages from attorneys and people were making comments on the video. I can't call her what you call her, Mandy. Okay. No, 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 not publicly. No, really. But she is very special. In what I'm looking like, what I am actually kind of concerned for is this is going to turn into one of those First Amendment rights of religion and my belief, like the TikTok psychic, where she's like, I can't actually give you the evidence as to why I'm not guilty because it's a higher power that called me to this to eliminate these people. Like she's been talking crazy about, you know, the demise of JJ and Tylee and how they're in a good place and they're not upset with their very upsetting the conversations that she was having with her son in regards to that. I feel for him so much. But it's gonna be a wild one and we are gonna follow it because I'm wondering, Miss George Boretsky's style is so laid back. Have you listened to him talk? Anybody like in the hearings? He's like, yeah, I'll get to it. I didn't read that yet. Yeah, I'll get to it later. He's much more laid back. He's not. I don't see he thinks he sees the perils involved in this case yet. I don't think he's had enough interaction with Miss Lori uh, Daybell to actually nobody's going to be up against. Um, it's going to be, I don't know. I can't even see how she can defend herself with this. But she says she's prepared. He warned her that the evidence was complicated and has multiple issues, and um, she seems to not be worried about it. She's got two good attorneys there that were guiding her and that were actually pushing for her to get this right to be pro se if she wanted it, and they fought for her hard, and they are going to be the advisory uh, attorneys, and she'll also get an investigator assigned by the public defender's office to work on scheduling the interviews for depositions and doing anything that she needs on the outside, you know. But yeah, I am curious if you put an emote on the screen, what does it look like? I don't know. Put one in the Twitch chat and I'll put it up because I don't see any coming through actually. Because I'm pulling the comments up through StreamYards, I'm not sure that they'll show up. Oh, but it did. The Twitch emotes show up. That makes me very excited, Rocket Couch, because I can't wait until my Twitch channel is big enough to make my emotes. Like, there you go. All right. So does anybody else have any questions in regards to Lori Vallow or what's been going on there? Liam says she refers to herself as Daybell, not Vallow. I know she does in the court, but they keep addressing her as Vallow. That's how all of the court documents are filed. That's what I keep getting corrected on. She does. And when she is still, I'm wondering how things are. Does anybody else wonder? Like, this is a little laid back. This isn't all like, court documents and stuff. This is a Q&A. Anybody else curious as to like, how she is with Mr. Daybell with Chad now that he's like sentenced on death row? I mean, he has an appeal, but yeah. Hmm. She should get Sarah Boone to give her letter writing to get her letter writing. You know what? Maybe she should hire Sarah Boone. Yeah, she could be her PR person on How to Lose Your Case. I wonder if there's still an item. I wonder what's going on. I mean, she every time the name Daybell gets mentioned, she says it with a different like connotation that I hear anyway. But then again, I'm very dramatic. I could be imagining it. I don't know. I don't know. They were obsessed. They were obsessed. Is she looking for new love lessons? I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes she seems very happy in court. In other times she looked like very stressed. Um, some days I see the makeup goes on kind of harsh. She puts like really dark eyebrows on. Well, she is penciling in her eyebrows and wearing lipstick. And her hair is done when she gets there. Mandy, that Sarah Boone account on X is hysterical. It's hysterical. I love having conversations. I first thought it was a bot, the Sarah Boone bot, but it's not. Like it's actually probably a person, and they answer and they say some stuff, and they say it very much like Sarah Boone would. The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, I didn't put Sarah Boone on the thumbnail, but to tell you that Guilty Words finally did a much longer video than usual in regards to Sarah Boone's final statements at her sentencing. And you know, they had a lot to say about it, and I have to say I agreed with a lot of it. A lot of it, a lot of it. It was much. It was definitely much, and I'm going to give you the link to it. I've been giving her the view for it, and will this link go over to Twitch too? Yes, it will, but it probably won't go to Twitter, and so. For those of you over in Twitter, I don't see anybody talking over there, but I put the link down there in the replies if you want to check it out too. That is the channel I'm talking about. It's called Guilty Words, and I kind of like her review on everything in regards to the things that Sarah said, the things that Sarah didn't actually say, but the things that we can infer from some of it. It was really interesting. It's always a good tea. So thank you, Couch. Couch, you're in like multiple places. Yeah. Sarah, I don't blame Sarah for being big mix. She just didn't get a clue. Sarah needed to read the room. Sarah's big flaw is that she don't know how to read a room. She got no self-reflection whatsoever. Because think of this, a, a, a judge as measured and disciplined is Judge Michael Kranek, one of my favorites, probably top of the list right now for me. If he gave her life, he could read between the lines. She was definitely put out the message that she did not do any self-reflection. She was not sorry about what happened, and it was everybody else's fault. There was no remorse there whatsoever, and I think it was a deciding factor in sentencing. It really was. Shill, he's copying you? No, I don't think so. Well, so in regards to Lori Vallow, we are going to have a trial, and I'm thinking about doing live streams on it if it's available. Now, sometimes, especially in Arizona, these live feeds come up, but they come up after the fact. I don't know if we're going to have a live feed from the court in regards to this hearing. As soon as I find out, I'm going to let you know, because I would like to do this one if it's coming up in January, and I really do want to cover it. I really do. But I think if you want, we can move on to another one since I don't see. I'm gonna go back and look. Maybe Sarah and Chad could play hide and seek in the suitcase. That's cold. But yeah. Yeah, they did yeah. Mm. You guys are playing in all of the chats. You're making me crazy. Okay. So next, who would you want to talk about? Oh, Karen Reed, the Tate brothers. um, James Toliver Craig, or anyone else, like even if they weren't on the thumbnail. I, I do have a little bit about Reed. We got a hearing coming up in 2 days that I can't wait for. Mm. Is the Delphi case wrapped up? Yes, as far as I know, in not very pleasantly, like, because there was a lot of people really upset that they couldn't actually live stream it. But the best wrap up on it that I saw from an attorney was Andrea Burkhart, but she is also like very like against the prosecution and the judicial system at this point in regards to the handling of it. Um, she doesn't feel there was a lot of transparency, and it's really hard to say because they didn't let people in. But she was actually inside the courtroom is when they would let people in. Let me get her channel for you. There, look at the trees. I did not cover Delphi. It was children. It did get to the point where legally I might have wanted to because of how interesting evidence and the way things were going, the stuff that they kept out. Oh, she's got a playlist on it over there. This is her channel. There you go. The Delphi murders or Richard Allen. But that verdict was done. The verdict has been good. I'm sure there's an appeal working on it. Diddler and Jay-Z. Well, that's interesting, Mrs. C. I could talk a little bit about that. It is civil, but it does come up because now Jay-Z's been named. So it's going back and forth with Tony Busby, who is the civil attorney, the one filing all the civil cases, the mass amount of civil cases. They filed a Jane Doe case against Sean Combs, the diddler, a month ago, or more than a month ago. I think it was October, from a Jane Doe who says she was 13 when she was violated at one of those parties by Sean Combs, another man, while a woman watched. Okay. And apparently the other man was Jay-Z, because now that civil suit's been refiled, naming him as the other person. And Jay-Z actually tried to counter it by suing Busby's office because he got a letter stating, that they could go into mediation firsthand, a standard letter that goes out. But, Busby says it's a standard letter. But when you're dealing with high profile celebrities and stuff, I could see why Jay-Z and his team thought it was like a threat, demand for money to settle so that their name wasn't released. Well, kind of backfired, because it's kind of hypocritical that JC says, yes, the Jane Doe won't release her name, but she's naming all of us. But when he sued Busby, he didn't do it in his name either. He did it as a John Doe, an unnamed person. So there's a bit of hypocrisy on all parts going around on here. But I just see this all getting bigger and worse before it all settles down. I see more prominent people getting named. I'm sure that it is the attorney's responsibility to try to get a settlement before they go to court. That just sounds prudent. But the fact that these cases are so old and they're only civil and they're not criminal, I mean, Jay-Z's rebuttal, he made a good point about that. Well, if that horrible thing happened to a 13-year-old girl, then please press criminal charges, because that's just not right. And I get that. I really do. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I mean, we're not going to know. Civil is not criminal. I just don't know where this stuff is going to go. But then again, the federal government said in the Sean Combs, the USA versus Sean Combs state, that there were unnamed co-conspirators. And we will have to find out who those are, who will eventually get named in everything. There's a superseding indictment supposedly being rumored for more offenses against Sean Combs, especially the stuff he's been doing. I'm sorry. We could just put it straight out there. If you want to get out on bail, don't get caught breaking all the prison rules while you're in there. Don't be acting so entitled like the rules don't matter to you while you're trying to preach to a judge that you're going to be a good boy when you get out here. That's insanity. Read the room, Mr. Combs. Read the room. Get a clue. That is never going to work. You can't act like a thug in there and think they're going to let you out like you're a prince. You're going to behave yourself and and do whatever your lawyers say. You actually put egg on your lawyers' faces about all of that. It's really ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And you can scream First Amendment right all you want. You're wearing an orange jumpsuit in jail. There is no First Amendment right. They tell you what to do. You jump, you jump. Okay, they say jump, you jump. They say lights out, lights out. They say one phone call, one phone call. Okay, you can keep looking for ways to get around it, but you get busted, 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 busted. And then you cry First Amendment rights and you're being persecuted because they're watching me. Mom, they're looking at me. Mom, they're monitoring my phone calls. What do you think happens in prison, dude? Like, seriously. I'm sorry. I just had to get that out. Hey, Jen. He's a hot mess. Him crying, and Mrs. Cassandra, him crying about not getting bail while he does all that stuff. Like, oh, what? I'll be good. Like, I can't obey the phone rules. I'm using other people's stuff. Like, I'm intimidating witnesses, but I'm going to be good if you let me out. Yeah, right. Oh, I lied to the judge, too, about the legal thing. Oh, not me personally. I just set my lawyers up to lie for me about that one. Like, come on. I am laughing, but it ain't funny. Disrespect for the judicial system is no joke. Like, I don't have a tolerance of it. Bad manners, people. Yep. I know, right? It's so simple, Jinzu. It's so simple, right? Just don't do it. But mom, I was convicted of crimes. Yes, it's not like he doesn't have a rap sheet or been under investigation for a while or anything, but we should just believe he's going to be good. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I'm glad you liked my butt mom there, couch. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I bet the rest of the internet is probably going to have at me, but like I don't really care because this is a Q&A. This is going to be a little less formal than we do because like I realized with all the questions I've been getting, like there's stuff you guys just want to ask simple questions. You don't want like a whole big thing. Oh, and we can do that more often. Yep. Yeah, no, I won't flee the country, but I already tried that before, and I've got multiple passports. And I don't tell the truth very often or obey the rules, but I swear when I get out, Judge, that's what I'll do. Yes. Is it like someone else saying they promised to be sober if you would only get the job? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep. But I don't want to be sober unless I get the job. I'll fly right when you give me a reason to is not a selling point. Okay, it's just not. Mom, the mean judge called me a criminal with criminal tendencies and a threat to the community. A threat to the community, Mom. Damn straight. Like, it's not like you didn't build that reputation for the last 30 years and you coveted it. You were proud of it. You threatened instead of talked. You beat up instead of negotiate. You blew up people's cars. Like, wait a minute. Like, no. Okay, I gotta stop. I should have put him on the thumbnail. I will have to change the thumbnail. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. I won't steal your cheese if Diddy stays in jail. Mouse. He's still there. I think three strikes is still not out, says it all. I really do. He's still there. He's still there. All right. Oh my. All right. Let's see. Just briefly, anything on Karen Reed? They did, we did get some decisions on the Rule 17 motions that Hank Brennan was filing. We got a yes on Gretchen Voss's backup materials for all of the interviews that were done in Boston 25, the William Reed, anything that was done locally. We got a no, though, a very strong no on the one for 2020 that was based at a ABC affiliate in New York. because all of the documentation that they want was kept in New York. So actually, as as their good lawyer said, so you don't have jurisdiction. Like, you can't force us, Judge Beverly Cannon, to do that. You actually have to subpoena it in New York and leave it up to a New York judge to decide whether they have to provide it or not. So we'll see if Hank Brennan goes that route. I doubt that he will. I think he will use the actual interviews in their entirety as they were aired, because there was definitely enough contradictions there that he's been talking about publicly aired without it. But what's really interesting for me is that we're going to be able, at least I hope we are, either in the trial or through the depositions, to hear the 33 times each of her lawyers, not just 33 times, but 33 times each for Yannetti, Jackson, and Little, that actually had comments to her to stop her from saying certain things or to change the conversation. And I don't want to say they misled her or anything. I'm not making it like it's a big deal, but I do want to know what those conversations are about. What did they have so much to say about while she's doing these interviews with the reporter right there? And there's no attorney client privilege, none, because Gretchen Voss was there. I don't know. Like, I don't want to say she's guilty or not. I will say this. There are two sides. People believe she's innocent. People believe she's guilty. And both of them are so adamant about it. And they actually get very extreme and rude. Like, I'm dealing with some really rude people in the comments lately. A lot of downvotes on anything that has to do with Karen Reed. They found out that I'm talking about it, I guess. And they don't want you talking about it. I'm trying to be fair. Like, I am actually looking forward to a trial with a new prosecution, because I admit the first trial was a mess. An absolute mess. Faulty prosecution, really bad witnesses. The whole layout of it in explaining the evidence was it was a poop trial, okay? The whole thing was a mess. And I'm looking forward to a new one where both sides can put their case forward a little more structured, a little more like reasonably, And there are two sides to it. Okay, but there's also new information coming, new telemetrics from her vehicle. Okay, there's the contradictions of her own statements that are going to be put forward. Okay, we're looking for more stuff. I mean, we're not going to have the Reed's phone, the parents' phone records, but we still have the fact that submitted by the defense was that Karen Reed. It is on something else, proving that she called them at 6 a.m. And right above it, it shows that she tried to call one of their numbers at 1:30 in the morning. That's where Hank Brennan's getting that information. It's documented. Rocket Couch, a lot of the mean comment, like, I don't mind the contradictory, the ones that say she's innocent and this and that, or even that, like, I'm lying or whatever. I don't care about any of that. But when they use foul language and threats, YouTube's been holding them. That's how bad they are. So really, I don't need anybody to do anything because YouTube holds them. And if YouTube holds it, I'm going to delete it because I don't want it to affect my channel. If YouTube thinks it's a problem, it's probably a problem, right? Yeah. I know, Mindy. I do feel that there is enough evidence. They're saying, people are coming at me saying there's absolutely no evidence she did anything. And I'm like, you cannot get tail light glass all over your clothes, like microscope, like all of that, if it wasn't. Like, where did that come from? What about those materials? Yeah, I mean, was it like a mess of a trial? Yes, it was. But there is evidence there that, when presented in the right light, is a very clear story. I just looked at a timeline documentation of her phone in her vehicle GPS stuff, which kind of lays out the whole thing they've been saying, although we didn't hear that like that in the trial. Everything was mishmash all over the place. It would be hard for a jury to put anything together. I don't blame them for doing a mistrial. It was just a bunch of hoopla most of the time. It was very jumbled up. Put in a lot of things that didn't matter. We heard from so many people from inside that house about him not being in the house. How many people do we have to hear that he was never in the house? There's not a stitch of evidence from the defense that he was, except for the dog bite. And that only might prove, if anything, was that a dog bit him. Not when, not how, and not where. Okay. If it is a dog bite, could a dog have bit him while he was on the ground there dying, trying to drag him somewhere? I mean, it doesn't prove the other scenario at all. But I love how people get so passionate and argue about it in a kind of like snarky way. I say that. Like, I don't really like, I'm just like, it's so wild to me how passionate everybody is and how there is a concerted effort to just shut people up from talking about it if they don't agree, which I'm never for. Like, you don't agree with me, fine. You can talk about it, but you don't get to curse and call me names or threaten this and that. And, it's just insane. It's just, it's unnecessary. It's actually unnecessary at all, you know? Oh, and like Liam said, no witch dog. Mm. They had to focus too much on third party defense that you couldn't focus on the actual evidence against Karen. Exactly. And that's their job, right? Reasonable doubt. So I can't really fault them for that. But when they didn't actually bring a third party defense actually into the courtroom with any evidence, that was a problem. That was a problem. Nice emote there, Shill. Pretty cool, you know. This is true. Even the Guild of Crystal Ball Polishers have not come to the comments to rage about the unfair treatment of the TikTok psychic because I don't think I was unfair to her. In the beginning, I did make a few jokes. I did because it did seem ridiculous to me that she was admitting that she said everything, but saying that she was allowed to because you know be, because her spirit guides told her and that it had to be true. Um, she was really adamant about it and she didn't really understand that you could say that all you want, but there's nothing legal to back it up. So nobody has to pay attention to it. And I kind of feel for her on that light because she's very adamant in her belief and she's entitled to it. But in a court of law, it did not matter. It did not matter at all because like she literally in the Q&As back and forth, you know, she actually admitted to all the statements and stood by them and repeated them, which was why the summary judgment went through. Hmm. Hey, Sean, how you doing? Hmm. It's just weird. You're not being unfair to Karen either, just pointing out the law and the evidence. Exactly, I'm trying. Do I have my personal opinion? Of course I do. Do I lean one way or the other? Of course. Everybody eventually does. Okay. Anybody out here saying they're middle of the road, not even the lawyers are. Come on. Like go to any of the legal channels of legal YouTube in some of their like they will give you the facts just like I do. They will go over everything, but like your personality, you can't help but give your opinion about stuff, right? Like, and that's all I'm doing. They don't have to like it. I am not bashing her. Somebody got on me because I said about the faces that she makes, and I was like, listen, I just want her to put her best foot forward for the jury, so they just don't judge her on that. Like, it's not a good look. That's for her, not against her. Like, is it fun to make up for the face? I love seeing her faces. I would be making the same faces. I admit it. Like, I'd be like, are you for real? Like, come on. I understand that. I just want her to put her best foot forward, not give the people so much to go at her for. What's wrong with that? Like, actually, I thought I was being good to her, but they were getting all on me about that one too. Like, what can you do? Oh, no, never going to make everybody happy. This is never going to happen, right? It's never going to happen. Okay. So, all right. So, all right. We talked about Diddler and Jay Z. They're going to have to get added to the freaking thing. We talked about Karen Reed. I'm going to have to put Sarah Boone's picture in there too, just so everybody knows we had a good old conversation about like all of that. The one thing I do want to tell you is that, um, James Toliver. Okay, let me bring up this bad boy. This is the Aurora dentist who poisoned his wife allegedly. Okay, and this trial has been pending for quite some time. But recently, when jury selection went to start, his attorney quit based on some really bad stuff that this guy's been doing from jail. He tried to have somebody hire a hitman, and he tried to have some witness tampering done by an inmate that used to work with him. He wanted a whole false alibi put into place, and he's got other charges coming forward on him for that. But basically, there's the hearing coming up to get him a new attorney so that we can go forward with trial again. And now that he gets a new attorney, I don't know how long or when this trial is actually going to take place. Well, here's another one. What is wrong with these guys? You want to come out here and prove that you're innocent, and then you do all this bad stuff in jail. like, don't you watch television? Have you never seen like any of the show? Have you ever not watched Law and Order or CSI or like Mindhunters or any of this stuff? Like, do you not know what goes on? How about they cop show the NYPD Blue? Like, right? You know, they watch what you do in jail, dude. Like, you can't trust another prisoner inmate that gets caught into this not to tell on you. Okay, like what is going on? Like, even I know, like, hey, shut up. Don't talk. Don't do this stuff. Crazy. So now we've got obstruction of justice, possible, a conspiracy for murder. We've got, witness tampering. Like, oh my God. Yeah, all of this. He's just not very good at scheming, is right there, Liam. He wasn't very good at planning the poisoning either, since he ordered everything online and had it shipped to his dentist's office. And while his wife was in the hospital, let the mistress visit the home. Yeah. Yeah. Something. And this was a man with 6 children and never had any problem for 20 years before. Spotless reputation, good dentist, whatever, had a thriving practice. He just starts an affair, long distance, whatever, and obviously went off his rocker. Like, something happened. And I'm just curious, like, what happened, dude, that you actually think all this criminal stuff is going to fix your life? Oh, look at this, Mousy. Look at all the cheese that's over there on Twitch, and you're not getting any of it over there. Look at that. We got cheese emojis. Where are you finding all these emojis? Like, this is great. When I'm on for record, I don't get no cheese or any of these really cool ones. Yep. But anyway, James Toliver Craig, we are going to have a hearing on an actual hearing this week on that, and we're going to actually get him a new lawyer, probably through the public defender's office, and then hopefully a new trial date after that lawyer says he needs time to get caught up because his client's such a bad, bad boy. But again, what? Yeah. All right, let me see. I'm checking for questions. Okay. All right. So the other one I hit on the thumbnail was the first one. Where is he? All right. There's really not much to say here. There's only 2 things to say about this. You're going to Twitch. Are you leaving me and you're going over to Twitch? That's good. One of the things I have to do on Twitch to rank emojis and stuff like this is I have to have 5 people talking in chat at once for like whatever. They give you like little things. Yeah. Yeah, now that you took all the cheese over here on YouTube, you're gonna run over to Twitch and try to take it. Look out, Rocket Couch and Chill. Here she comes. She coming for your cheese. But anyway, the Tate brothers, Andrew and Tristan. Okay, they had a hearing in Romania today, but it got delayed. Okay, but some interesting things. First of all, Mircea Bardo, who was the reporter, who's been reporting on Ukraine and all these hot issues, and the Tate brothers in Romania, left Twitter, but he's over on Blue Sky. So if you look in the description, you will see that I actually put his Blue Sky ID down there now that you can follow him for updates. But actually, we're not going to find out. This hearing was moved to the 19th again because it was like backlogged, and then they moved the timing of it to later in the day. And then when they came back, they're moving it to the 19th. Well, this hearing is whether we go forth with the first indictment instead of trial date. And remember, they were supposed to change some things in the indictment. Well, apparently not a lot changed. But when Andrew was asked by Mercer if actually he was surprised that nothing changed in the indictment, he just looked at him and he said, "Can you fly?" like his other when pigs fly, like whatever. He's not very pleased with Marcel Bardo. Tristan actually kind of like they both got into like a tiff about like all the bad things that he said about the family, but Marcel Bardo has not really said anything negative. He's only reporting on the case. And so, like, maybe if you don't want people to mention that you're charged with sex trafficking, don't get charged with sex trafficking. Just saying. Again, like read the room. They can say whatever they want, okay? But it actually is a bad look right now. Tristan Tate is out there actually talking about jurisdiction for international law. That if he did have sex with somebody who's a minor in the United States or Romania or anywhere else, if they're actually a citizen of Switzerland or somewhere else, it should be okay because they're a citizen that follows other laws, you know. But that ain't the point, Tristan. You need to follow the laws of the country you are in where it happens. It doesn't matter if the person that you had the relations with is from another country. The rules of that person's nationality do not apply to your crime. It was the most ridiculous thing I've read in a long time. Yes, a long time. Yes. What's the matter there, Liam? Oh, you want to know the Twitch channel? Oh, well, what the F is it? I'm sorry. It is. It is Claire at 307 on. It is Claire Bear 307 on Twitch. I'm sorry, Mandy. Like, yep. I'm so sorry. And I never tell anybody. I don't tell anybody my Twitter handle either. I have to put it in the things, I think, now that I'm using it. You know. Do you see it above? It's right there in Purple's thing. She's been linking it. Yep. You probably were subbed to Wrecker. I've never used it, Mousy, so I don't think I was. No. There was 306 Claire Bears ahead in line. Actually, no, there wasn't. When they told me I couldn't use just Claire Bear, I went to 307 because that is the my channel name or email. Yeah, Claire is. Yeah, 307. Yeah, so I did the 307. I wasn't gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, but very funny there, couch. Very funny. Anybody have questions on the Tate brothers, like by any chance? I'll just pull them down and just ask you, what do you guys want to cover from the news? Yeah, because yeah, who can I I get the impression that nobody cares about the Tate brothers. Like I don't care about them today either. You know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, oh, thank you for subbing there, Mousy over there on Twitch. Yes. I should have pulled the Twitch chat up too, but I didn't. So I could see the notifications if you saw. But yep. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you also. I forgot the S, didn't I? Mm. It's nice that you guys are supporting me that way. I appreciate it. Like this is gonna be like a backup play. I don't even know if like Twitch will be into like what I'm doing here. Over there, I don't even know. I have no idea. It's all new to me. The most I've ever done or seen on Twitch is like gaming stuff, or when MC Ricker was doing his music, when he was doing his live music practice, which was so much fun. Hello, over on Twitch, M Dolan 76. How are you? You don't have to download it, Mrs. Cassandra. Your support here is everything. Don't forget it. Don't ever doubt it. Like I'm not forcing anybody to do anything ever. Absolutely. I just wanted to have a since I can stream to multiple platforms, I just thought it was good to have a backup and to have some fun. Plus, if you guys saw the gaming stream the other day, that was kind of fun. But I don't think YouTube's gonna want that too much. But it is more of a Twitch thing, and I am going to get into a little bit of that back and forth with some of the other people that I play like games with and things, and some of the other creators I follow on Twitch. It should be fun. Oh, it's been just letting you know if I wasn't so lazy, I would. Well, that's good to know, Mrs. Cassandra. That's good to know. And yes, you can open Twitch in a browser. That's how I open it all the time. You don't have to download anything. Open it in the browser if you're on a laptop or if you're out on the internet. You can do it that way. Mm, mm. All right, so it's almost 8:20. We're rounding out. So can you just give me a Y for yes and an N for no on this question? Do you guys want me to cover the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO, whether it be Luigi Mangione or whoever it ends up to be? Right now, it's Luigi Mangione. I see a big yes from Mouse. um, Yeah, okay. All right. So we're going to do a deep dive and I'll give you a presentation on everything we know to date and what's been filed. But I wouldn't expect it until after he's extradited because I think that's important information that New York will come out with once they actually start a formal case on him and then we will have more legal documents and all. But we'll keep appraised of what happens in Pennsylvania too. There is a room already in the Discord for those members and mods and collaborators who are all over in our library for the Discord for the channel. It is definitely got a room over there, but it's in the name of Luigi Mangione as he is the prime suspect right now. That room name may change, but everything will stay there. Okay. I think I will be doing another one this week, Mrs. Cassandra. Probably before your show on Thursday. I'm going to try to update on Daniel, either on James Toliver Craig or Zachary Hughes. There's some bigger ones that we have to take care of. We've got a hearing for Karen Reed coming up, and we've got the hearing for Craig coming up. I'm going to try to get recordings of those for you guys. It's a me, Luigi Mangione. Very. And the other thing that I've been tracking privately, like but not like too hysterically, is the New Jersey drone situation. Now, some of you um have been messaging me about that, and it is crazy. Like it is definitely crazy. But I will tell you, I'm not too worried about it because it's been happening for more than 6 weeks now. And so I know that if it was like really aliens and or foreign drones of some type, they wouldn't be here anymore. We got plenty of military bases here in New Jersey and on the East Coast. Those damn things would have been shot out of the sky by now if it wasn't our own people responsible for it. So like it's either military or some kind of thing that's going on, and they're not telling us about it because it's something that they need to take care of. But I feel confident that because they're still there, that they're taken care of. Somebody's doing their job, so to speak, is how I feel about it. Now I might not be the average citizen. I get that. I've got some weird views on things. Yeah, but it wasn't by one of them. Like I thought one was shot down, but wasn't it a private citizen that did it? Yes, it did. Your name is now, and I'll put it up on screen so you can see it. That's your name now, PNW wife. It is your Pacific Northwest wife. Okay. Yep. I think so. I'm going to check into it though for you, Mrs. Cassandra, because I know you want to know. You know. But I was thinking that might be something we could talk about on Friday. Let's do a little thing on Friday about that if you're into it, Mrs. Cassandra. Let's look up some stuff, maybe in MC Record. Like, like let's look and see if we could talk about that on Friday. Because that's totally a WTAF subject, don't you think? Birds aren't real. Fucking couch. Nope. Nope. Metal birds that fly around with flashing lights, they ain't real. Nope, nope. But it is concerning. I can understand why people that don't know, like they're flying over their houses, they come, like there's a few of them, then there's a whole bunch of them that have been increasing. They have now expanded the area that they are covering. They've been in Pennsylvania, in Staten Island, New York, all over New Jersey now, where it was just North Jersey. Well, now it's like everywhere. But since I'm here in New Jersey, I thought that, maybe I think that's why people keep messaging me about it. And I'm just like, I'm not worried. They're like, oh, you're not worried about the alien invasion? No. I'm just like, nobody's like contacted me for like, anything. So I'm okay. If I disappear though, you know what happened, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna be okay there, Mrs. Cassandra, or not. Like, or not. Yep. Yeah. Thanks, Couch, for the confidence. Claire can fight those drones. Claire's like, beam me up. Like, yes, take me away. Instead of Calgon, it's like, drone, take me away. Like, yes, please. I bet you it's cheaper to get a drone flight to New Zealand than it is than an airplane, maybe. I don't know. Could they mess it up worse than we know? Who knows? The aliens, you mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question, though. That's a very good question. I mean, yeah. Seriously. Well, yeah, that would be something we cover on Friday. And that reminds me, since it was in New Jersey, it just like made me remember about the Canero case. I still want to bring you guys up to date on the Paul Canero case in here in New Jersey. There's a lot of DNA twists going on with all of that. So that might be something I talk about this week. But as you can hear my voice, I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or it'll be Thursday because I did go out of the house last week. And of course, like, all you gotta do is get a cold. And I did. I got a drip. Yeah. Everything's been going great though, right? Like it's just like I can't sometimes I can't do 2 days in a row anymore. It just yeah, it just sounds terrible. Like I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can hear it. Like it gets to be a bit uncomfortable. Mm. All right. Are there any other legal cases that you guys are following out there that we're not following that you're interested in? And I am looking for live trials. So you guys are listening and you find out something's going to be live, you let me know. I'm following all the socials the best that I can. I'm looking into the court dockets the best I can. There are some like the Craig one. I can't. They do have actual wired courtrooms, but it depends on if his judge is going to use that courtroom and approve it for actually everybody to be able to watch it. Same thing with Lori Vallow in Arizona. There, we've been able to get the recordings of the hearings. Okay, they've been very short, but I don't know what's going to happen with the court. I think if Lori's representing herself, it makes sense to me that she's going to want the cameras in there because she's going to want her message that she plans on presenting out there for everybody, right? I don't think she's worried about us and what we think about her. She wants to get her message to as many people out as she can because remember, she's chosen one. She's been chosen to start this, what the apocalypse or the end of days thing or whatever this is, the 145,000. You know what I'm talking about, this whole thing of the Latter day Saints, this warped version of Latter day Saints that she has. And I'm wondering what the Craig defense is going to be like. Like, he's a Mormon, and I don't know how you can defend, poisoning your wife, ordering everything, going against your partners, and then trying to elicit the murder of a prosecutor and like, possibly like witness tampering and false alibis. Mm-hmm. Oh yes, yeah, and you know what? Me too. But it's so convoluted and it's civil too. And you know how sometimes, although I have followed civil suits. I mean, I did Johnny Depp. Everybody knows that. Okay, and I did Marilyn Manson. That's civil too, not criminal. But I did them for really big reasons. Illuminati. She annoys me. She annoys me greatly, and I am actually pulling for Oz and Wanda and the rest of them. I really am. Um, but it's just so convoluted and ridiculous. But I think maybe I'll do a summation on it, Couch. I think I will. Yeah, I think I think I will. I think I could pull together a timeline in the history and do a little something, something, just to spice things up. You know, as we get towards a live trial, we've got to try to like bring all of this stuff to a head. We still have TPD. He still doesn't have a trial date. Look, okay, we still have, Viper. Remember that crazy guy? that Lee Carter guy with who kept the woman prisoner and everything. I can't find anything on it. I'm actually thinking they may have dropped it, but I'm digging and I'm digging and I'm digging. But we've got to bring up some of these loose ones. There's also been a lot of rumor around John Benet Ramsey. Yes, about some break in the case. Now I know that we just had a Netflix series on it, which I recommend. It was very good. It just gives you an overview. I've done a lot on the John Benet Ramsey with Jay from True Serial, and we've got it in Unsolved. We actually went over all the evidence as a group of the murder minions and laid out our cases, on who we thought it was. But there's been a rumor that some of that. There's also the old case of Suzanne Moorfield. They found the body a year ago, and they did find some medications in there. And I do know that Mr. Moorfield, he actually lost his civil suit case against quite a few of the officials were allowed to be dismissed from it. Although he was successful of getting that prosecutor out of office. She was absolutely, Linda Stanley was an actual affront to the system, made so many mistakes and just crossed so many lines. And she's got her own legal woes to deal with now and lost her job. Well, I'm wondering if there will be justice for Susie and Morpho and if there will be charges placed at any time, whether they'll still go after Barry Morphew again or if they've got anything else in the investigation that led anywhere else. Mm. It's mainly they said, no, you said, but you did, no, you did first, nah, double nah, boo hoo, it no fair. Exactly. Yeah. You're talking about the Illuminati case? Absolutely. But it's worth going through when you see the shenanigans that actually happened in the leaps and bounds that a certain person would go through without no really good. I don't know about her legal representation. Is she writing this stuff herself? Like, I don't know. Like, some of this stuff is like, whoop, doesn't even address the issues. Um, no case law, legal precedent, none of that is existing. But then again, it's civil. That's not uncommon. You know, it's not uncommon. You know, well, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. All right. I think on that then, guys, I think I'm going to end this. I'll probably see you again during the week. If not, definitely on Friday. Absolutely. I might pop up with a gaming stream here and there, but who knows? Who knows? I do thank you. Let me know how you feel, either privately or in the comment sections. If you like this little Q&A thing, I was thinking about doing this every once in a while, or we could make it part of another smaller time once a week to do it and then do a deep dive on big cases here and there, you know. Um, because I do like interacting with you and I want to hear what you have to say about stuff. And I like taking the temperature of what it's like out there. What I don't want to do is be like everybody else. And it's hard for me because even with this new case with the United Healthcare CEO shooter, uh, everything going on in regards to the media and everything, I want to cover it because it's very fascinating to me. But like, if you guys are tired of hearing it and it's everywhere, like, I don't want to be the ones, pissing you guys off with the boring stuff again. But this one, it is intriguing to me. It is. Because already he's talking like he's been set up, right? So that could be quite interesting. So I did see the yeses. I am going to add that one to the roster and start working on a presentation for you regards to everything. In as always, if you come up with another one that's interesting, sometimes I talk to people privately about it. We talk about other cases in the Discord all the time. Reminder to those of you that are moderators and or members and collaborators of mine, if you haven't did the Discord, I do put a members only link up every once in a while. Contact me, okay, to get in there. There's a lot more information than I could possibly even talk about on every show out here in regards to the cases. We go over other videos. There's all the legal documents. There's commentary back and forth. It follows a couple of the other socials. And plus, it's a nice place to hang out. There's other fun things to do there too. But on that, I'm going to end it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking, what you want to hear more about. If you've got an opinion on stuff, we also have to go over Fiona Harvey again. But like I said, that's been kind of stayed. So I know that the Laura Ray letters keep coming up. Someone had recommended like that I read them and just put a video out. That could still be possible, but like I just got the new computer up. I am getting caught up. I do got a couple of audio projects I have to finish first. And as you can hear, my voice is not like as strong as it always used to be. A cold just puts me out with that drip. It's just ridiculous. And I hate sounding terrible. I do. It's a personal thing for me. And here we go, Liam, with his gratuitous bear stroking. We love hanging out with you too. There, knock off your bingo cards, people. Definitely. And that reminds me, I'm going to put that links. I'm going to have to get a mod for the Twitch channel so that link gets posted. Damn it, unless I put it up there myself before I have to think about it. Okay. Thanks for the reminder there about the bingo card, Liam. I'm going to have to work on that. All right. So, I'll see you guys at the end of the week in a day or two. All right. Have a great night.